Roger, 0J, and I feel fine.
Discovery Houston, press to ATO.
Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the orbit of Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Three, two, one, zero, zero.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Okay, all right then. So we are live. Let me just double check everything. All right, cool. We're live. You already know what it is, man. It's your man, Summer Man, like Grand Total. Not that I think that I am. We're here with my friend Noir King, R6. You know, he hard as the players in Blitz.
What up, y'all? What up, what up, what up? Forgive me. I'm just doing some technical things. But we're here. We're doing
the same thing, bro.
But yeah, no. So yeah, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Do another episode of Black Bear Meat in the new year.
Right. And it's been a minute. And yeah, we're here. We're back. And I think taking a break is good. And I think that really caring about the self is good. And a lot of times, personally, I'm of the mind to just thug it out. But then I gotta like tell myself like, nah, bro, don't thug it out here. You know?
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, so you ain't gotta thug it out. Especially if you thug it out all the time. You feel me?
You are a habitual non-believer in taking breaks.
Right. Like this weekend was crazy. I did a lot, so I work 5 days a week, right? And then on Saturday, I was up in the morning, like at 10 o'clock or something like that, and I left the house, and I didn't really come back until like almost 12 at night,
God damn. You work 5 days a week?
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
I work 5 days a week, and this is not including the things I do outside of work, because I meet once or twice a week with my basketball team for practices, and then I also have been doing this artist residency that's every Wednesday, and Wednesday's my long day at work.
That's up the short day at school, though. Wasn't that traditionally the short day at school?
Short day at school, long day after school.
But Jeebus, my man over here trying to work the midnight hours.
Man, I'm telling
So, tell us, what did you do that was so engrossing? Ooh, that's a nice word.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. So on Saturday, I woke up, I played basketball, and then I went to coach a basketball game. And after the game, I went to a party for my stepdad. It was his birthday party at Benihana's.
Hey,
Money just fell out of my wallet over there.
Facts. Yo, facts.
As I seen the bill, I was just like, oh my god.
Damn.
Like I knew it was gonna be high, and then I seen it and I was like, oh, this higher than Snoop Dogg right now. This shit higher than Miley Cyrus when she was on that wrecking ball.
Miley Cyrus, greatest quote of all time. There's just no one on earth that has smoked as much weed as I have. I'm just like, damn, that's insane to think that.
Right. Miley Cyrus feels like she can smoke you under the table. Like, nah, I don't know about that, bro.
Sorry, he said something funny.
Speaking of, I titled this episode "Mental Health Check-In" because we're here on Black Men Meet, and a part of it is mental health, and I wanted to check in with you and myself about mental health. How has your mental health been these last couple weeks?
Man, a lot has happened in this new year. A lot of things that would, affect one's mental health. I had a really shitty kind of job for a while, which I don't have anymore, which means that NBA is gone. So if you ever want to know how big celebrities live, let me know, because I will tell you. Also, I got a new job, which I do not like, and I'm going to have to leave because it is very detrimental to my mental health, which sucks because it's not the job's fault. It's just the area in which I work is trying. I work in downtown Oakland,
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so I work in between two halfway houses at a public restaurant, and it's pretty shitty. So I'm kind of like, yeah, it's not that this job is hard. I don't want people to think that security's hard or something that you can't get into, because it's neither of those things.
Mm-hmm.
It is just that this location is centered smack dab in the middle of too much crazy shit. I have seen more naked homeless people in the last month than I have ever wanted to see in my entire existence as a security guard. So I'm like, yeah, I got to go.
Mm-hmm.
I got so mad at some dude the other time that I actually started yelling at this dude that's on site. Like, that's just not cool. Like, I can't be that mad at these people, because I understand that they're all on drugs or coming off of drugs. So I'm like, I can't even really do anything right because my hands are tied. It's like, if you ever tried to be it's like working at a convalescent hospital and a kindergarten at the same time. Because I got grown people who act like kids, and I got old people that are all fucked up, and then people who aren't, they're all in between, but they all on drugs, so they all fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard.
I mean, fact, I'd have been threatened. Like, this dude was like, I'm gonna break your jaw. I'm like, come on, bro, you ain't gonna do that. First off, you're not doing that shit. Number one. Number two, why you gotta be so mean? I'm you know you doing something wrong. Fuck, like, so, yeah. And then, I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where it's like, I gotta look at it objectively. If I stay here, I get angry, I hit one of these dudes, or one of these dudes decides to hit me, and I gotta come back. Because again, like I said before, companies will not have your back in situations like this.
Mm-hmm.
They say that they do. They say that they do. They say, oh, we're all about the people. But in reality, they are not. And they will not. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They only care about the bottom line. That is it. And if they firing you is helping them, they will do it. Don't ever think that. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I can't be put in a situation where I might get into some shit that it's just, it won't be good. But the company itself seems like they're pretty good. It's just that it's the human element of it that makes it not worth it for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like, I gotta find a job, not that I can coast at, you feel me? So I wouldn't mind doing something simple in security, just not this. Like, I don't want to do this type of security anymore. Like, if I'm gonna do this type of shit, I might as well work at a fucking club. You feel me?
Right.
At least I can see some titties. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, oh man, I did see some titties the other day, and they were disgusting, and it was foul, and I was just like, see, this is the type of shit I'm talking about. I don't want to see this, and this should not be something that I'm seeing when I come to work.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I feel you.
like,
I feel you.
like, am I wrong though? Am I wrong?
Hey, I seen this naked dude riding a bike with my son when I was coming from the exploratorium. I was like, I wish we never seen this, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because now my son asked me whether this man has clothes or not.
See, I'm telling you, man, it's like, it's one of those situations where I don't hate this job, and if I was younger, didn't have the experience, and wasn't sitting here like, I know I can do better, oh, I'd probably eat this job up. Like, if I had this first, I'm gonna say this right now for the show, if I had this job before I had GameStop, I don't think I'd be a lot different. Let's put it like that. Because if this would have been my first job, with the amount of money that I'm making here, I probably would have never left this motherfucker. Y'all have been, yo, that Andre dude is hard as fuck. Yup. I work a hard ass job. Gotta be hard. Feel me? No nice. Never nice. But
Yeah.
wasn't meant.
This is just one of those sites. Have you thought about asking them to transfer you to a different site?
There are no different sites. The first day, yeah. Here's another thing. Another reason why I'm leaving this job. First day I get there, right? Another sister, she quit. red flag off top.
Right.
Second, dude's telling me as I'm standing here, right? No formal interview over the phone, no none of that. He's telling me as I walk up first that, hey, just so you know, this is the only site we got available. So if they tell me they don't want you here, then I guess that's it. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, this is my first day here, and you threatening me with my job, and I literally don't even know if I want to work this motherfucker yet. Why would I want to stay here, dog? Like, real shit. Like, if you telling me, oh, well, we ain't got no other places for you. Shit, I ain't even been here long enough to want another place. But now I don't, because now I feel like if I get it, you're just going to be like, well, this is the last tier for you, because you can never have my job. Like, come on, nigga. Yeah, like, that's kind of wild to me. So I'm like, all right, bro, like, it's good. I'm just going to work this job till the end of the month, and I'm out. I was going to leave earlier, but unfortunately, there was a problem with my bank, and I got to make sure that shit's all worked out. Then I can leave. Then I can go, and it'll be smooth. You know what I'm saying? That's nice. Get my last little paycheck for that last 2 weeks. You feel me? And I'm out. Then I just roll on to the next job. There's all, hey man, look, security has been around since the 1800s, right? As I told this guy who I met at the site, who's goddamn, I feel sorry for that man, but Simp City, damn. Told him straight up, man, there will all, as long as people have stuff, there will be a need for security.
That's true. And you know, I feel like there was even security guards back in the day, but people used to have personal bodyguards, you know, bodyguards or royal guards. You know what I'm saying? Same.
I mean, look at the Pinkertons. The Pinkertons were the first nationalized security company in the world, and they made $18 a day, right? Brink's security company was founded in 1896. That was the first real nationalized security company that was able to go from one state to another. Think on that shit. Like, that's crazy shit to think about, right? But here's the best. You want to know? Okay, one of the best secret things about being a security guard, right? As we all know, there are 4 tiers of law enforcement, right? Correction officers, I don't really count, because as a correction officer, yes, you are a part of law enforcement. Yes, you do have tons of power, but you only have it in the prison. That is the difference. Once you step outside the prison, you are just a regular ass civilian. Like, that's wild. That's the thing they don't really understand. They think, oh, I'm a fucking guard. No, you're not, nigga. You a prison guard in a prison. Okay? As a security guard, I can go anywhere that has property and be like, yep, I work here. And they can't even question that shit. Like, do you work here for real? Yeah, I work there. I just got hired. They're my security guard. Bam, done. And that's it. That's crazy. And to be a security guard, you gotta have a nice background. So cops are slightly, and I do mean this very, very, very seriously, slightly nicer than they were before.
Yeah, I feel that. But I feel like, well, you know, I used to work security, and I feel like cops do kind of try to work with security guards most of the time.
You got to be at the right though. Like,
yeah,
you can't, like, you cannot, like, you cannot be wrong, because they'll fuck you. Like, I remember one time we have to call the cops on this veteran, and I kind of felt bad, but I mean, you know, hey man, I don't get to make the rules, dog. I just follow orders. So it was like, got called cops. Cops came in and was like, what's going on? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, this is so wild. Because in any other situation, y'all would not be coming to me like we partners or teammates or any shit like that, nigga. It'd be, yo, get your ass on the ground. And I'm like, hey, yo. Hey,
true.
yo.
That's true.
So that is one of the things though that I will say I don't necessarily like about being a security guard, but I do get about being a security guard. Like, and again, I will say this: the majority of people that we stopped were not black. Okay, they were not. Actually, we stopped more white and more Asian people than anything else. And it was always the Asian people who was doing the fraud. Yeah.
Well, everybody do crimes, but they want to act like black people, only people who do crimes. And I think white people do like simpler crimes than other people.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We don't look. Here's the thing, man. And I'll say this only because I don't really give a shit, and it's not like they can do anything. But like high-end retail, like Gucci, all of that shit, bro. I know I said this 1,000 times on the show, but it's so serious. You could just walk in there and steal it. They can't even fight you on it anymore. Like,
yeah, because they have like a no-touch policy, like a no-chase policy or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Once you leave the store, they legally cannot chase you. Like, so for all those rappers, which by the way, rappers and all those people, they get given those clothes for free. So don't think that these niggas going out there spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on Gucci fits. No, that's not happening. Gucci sends these guys stuff for free so that they can go out and promote it. It's a vicious cycle. And then us, the regular working class, get told, well, you know, I spent $2,500 on this Louis fit. No, you didn't. Not even. But
I can't rock Gucci. I only wear Pucci.
Hey, but I say that though to say that it's insane to me the turnaround rate in places like that. Like, you'd be surprised how easy it is for people to just go up in there and take shit. Like, there was one time somebody took their car and they drove it to the front of Gucci and they just ran in and took all the shit and dipped out. Everybody was just like, well, what the fuck? I'm like, hey man, I don't know.
Hey, what do you do? They got a no chase policy and it's just like $1,000 down the drain, bro. But, hey,
big bag.
Look, Gucci don't support us, bro. So pluck them. My buck.
Fact. But not all of these places are not equal. You know, there are a lot of these places that only give a shit about one color, and that is green.
Yeah, man, that's all evil to me, man. I feel like, personally, anything that's not really specifically for people and the earth, especially when it comes to like capitalist thinking, quickly becomes antagonistic to people on the earth. Because my issue with capitalism, and I'm going to do a mental health check-in after this myself, but my issue with capitalism is that their focus is solely on the capital, right? That's the whole point of capitalism, to gain more capital. And the thing is, because it doesn't consider human beings, right, and it doesn't consider the earth, it goes for capital at any cost. You know, people that sometimes they'll be like, oh, well, you know, true capitalists, they wouldn't give a fuck about blah, 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 and they're going to try and help people out so they can get more money from them. I'm like, no. A true capitalist is going to get as much as they can in their own lifetime because they're not really thinking about 100 years from now because it doesn't matter to them. They're going to be dead. Okay? Like, if I can get $50 jillion right now, right, but the earth is destroyed in 100 years, 150 years, so what? I'm gone, bro. I got my jillion dollars. I got my trillions, man. And I hoarded them and I saved them and I cut everybody out for it. And so I feel like when it comes to like the way people operate, you have to put in something that cares about human beings. You have to put in stuff that honors and cares about the earth, right? Or that's not going to be a part of it. And you might do things that go against those things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Gucci, Louis, I feel like they don't give a fuck about us, man. They only care about me. Fine. You know, they're not necessarily trying to kill us. They are trying to profit from us, and they do be putting out some racist shit sometimes, right? However, that doesn't necessarily make them like an enemy. They may be an antagonist, but they're not like a direct foe. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
But even if they're not a direct foe, they ain't getting my support, man. So it's
Nah,
fucking.
fuck that.
It's fucking my mind, but
Hey,
it is fucking. I'm about to buy some more FUBU. All right.
you want to know
So
something crazy that you say that? I mean, the capitalist mentality is what led us to Bitcoin
it is.
and why it is exactly why Bitcoin, like the metaverse, failed. Okay, uh, look, there's not to play devil's advocate, but there's only one capitalist that's actually decent. And as much as I hate to say it, it's actually the timber company because, as they stated, yeah, we're not out to cut down the forest. If we cut down the forest, we can't make paper. So for every tree that gets cut down, we actually plant 2 trees in its place, and they do, they really do. So I can't even really, and they only go after dead trees now. They used to go after like young trees, now they don't go after old dead trees. Like, so I honestly I can't even really, like, as much as I hate the timber company because of what they did to outlaw marijuana, they're not that bad. Now people like the cigarette company though,
They're
they
horrible.
fund the truth. Yeah, they fund the Truth Organization, and those motherfuckers is like the most evilest niggas on earth. Like, oh, like, oh, they suck.
Right.
What was another one? Oh, you want to hear something interesting? I learned in my months away. I learned the reason why up here in America we gave away that traditional like 2 of everything meal that we had in the 50s is because one of our presidents had a heart attack, died, and the leading doctor slash scientist who went to do the autopsy to find out why this president died actually was a shill for the major sugar company. So instead of linking it to smoking, he linked it to fatty foods because the president's
Really?
diet. Yep, the president's diet was 40% meat. So what happened? Well, they went on a fucking tear of a campaign that fat is bad unless you get it from sugar. So yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? I was like, damn, I would have never guessed that. But that explains a lot. That explains why we pivoted from that whole, hey, let's eat, a steak, a serving of potatoes, like carrots and peas and shit. That shit just kind of went away overnight, and then it gave way to like, well, have more Kool-Aid. What? Like, everybody should just have Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid is not a drink for poor people. Kool-Aid is a drink for every people. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? A lot of that shit got repurposed like overnight. Now everybody in America got to have it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know it is, man. It's capitalism. It's cheaper to make a sugary drink than it is to make something that's actually good for you. Like some orange juice. It's like, we could juice these 13 oranges, or we could mix these chemicals together, add some water and some sugar. There you go.
Hey man, remember, concentrated orange drink is from the Nazis. If you like Tang, that's Nazi created. Okay. Yep, that's some crazy shit. But yeah, they got a lot. Puma, Adidas.
Yeah, I know that. So that's why I don't fuck with all these companies, man. That's why, I say we gotta fuck with ourselves. As far as my own mental health goes, I'm chilling right now. Like, earlier this year, I was going through a lot, and it kind of affects my mood more than I would say it affects my mind, right? Like, I just had a lot. I just had a lot of shit on my plate, and I wasn't really in a good cheery mood. And I was telling people like about all the shit that I had going on. It was like, damn, bro, like, you good? And I'm like, I'm good, bro, because there wasn't a lot I could do about the shit that was going on other than deal with it, But after it was dealt with, then I'm like, nah, I feel better. And I feel like I get kind of like that. I tell my partner all the time, like, I feel like when I feel something, it's present. You could tell. If I'm not in a good mood, you could tell. I could tell, because I'm not trying to hide it. And it's just there. And I don't feel like I could hide it, really. And I made a post not so long ago about men being deep wells of emotion, right? And I made that post because that's something that I feel about myself, but it's also something that's been reflected to me about how I show up, right, emotionally. And I'm like, that's what it is, because I had this metaphor, right, for how I felt about myself and my emotions and my mental health and everything. And I was like, it's like I'm walking on a beach, right, with metal boots, and there's big waves, and my emotions are like the waves, and they're always crashing, right? It's not like a calm sea most of the time. They're just there, just beating my ass, right? And I'm like, sometimes I get swept away, right? And this is the thing I'm fighting. I'm fighting getting swept away, and I'm like, the metal boots, like my mentality, right? This is the thing that kind of like keeps me even. This is the thing that keeps me on the shore. But then after thinking about it, I'm like, no, it's not like a beach. It's like a well. Like, you look in the well, you don't even see water. You know, you're like, what the fuck, right? What the fuck is in this well? But inside of the well, deep inside the well, there's water. Wouldn't say that's still water either. And it's like exploring the water. You know, you get in, you're just like, okay, what the fuck is under here? And you're like, oh my god, what the fuck? There's a Loch Ness down here. You know, there's all kind of crazy shit under here. And you know, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, man, if I was not this well myself, I don't even know how I'd feel about going into another well. You know, going into somebody who was a well like this. Like, you don't see anything, and then you look inside, and you're just like, bro, this is crazy. You know, there's hell on the other side of this well. Like, what the fuck is this? You know? And I'm like, that would be a scary thing if I wasn't the well. Because I'm the well, I know what's in the water. I know it's down there. Like, I'm very familiar with it. But it's still difficult sometimes. It still, like, gets to me. Sometimes I still get to the point where I feel like I can't breathe. I'm choking in my own waters of emotional depth. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's just how it is. And I'm just like, what can I do? You know? Try to swim to the top and shit, but it's just like, sometimes I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go ahead and just sit here choking in this water until the water rises and I can get to the top or something, you know? So right now I'm fine, but I was definitely very deep in the water at the beginning of the year, you know? And it's mostly like the things that affect me the most, I think, are things that I can't change. That's the hardest part for me. Things that I can't change, because I have a very like strong instinct to change the things that I can. And it's kind of disheartening for me when I come up across something that I can't change, or come up across something that I thought I could change, but then I wasn't able to, you know? And sometimes there's things that I can't change, and I gotta accept that. That shit sucks.
I think acceptance is the, crazy thing that you say that, man. Like, it's wow. I think back to as a kid when I was with my mom at that recovery center, and it's like, yo, the first thing on that fucking list of 12 commandments, like, accept the things you cannot change. And I really took that shit to heart as a kid, even though, of course, fuck, I ain't got shit to recover from. I'm a fucking kid, but it was always there. Everywhere that recovery center went, that fucking thing was there. Man, that shit was great. God, so wild. But it really helped me understand, hey, there's some things in this world you will literally never be able to change. And there's other things that you can affect greatly. Even just your presence has an effect greatly on things around and things not around. But you will never know what that is. You feel me? And neither will anyone else.
Right.
There's so many moments that I think about now, working back in Oakland. In just the 3 weeks I've been here, working back in the city is so crazy. It's damn, it's almost night and day from what I was doing before. And it's the same shit. And it's yo, this is crazy. There was a cop, right? A bunch of cops, bunch of motorcycles rolling through. There was, loud Papa Willie doing the whole 51. And the cop was just there, riding alongside him. He wasn't chasing them, no lights, no sirens, no nothing. Just there. Why? It wasn't like he didn't want to chase them, and it wasn't like they were doing anything wrong or not wrong. What can you do?
Like you might catch one of them, but you're not about to catch all of them.
Fact. And then what's that one? What you gonna do? You gonna try and pull that one dude over so he can just jet out on you? Come on, bro.
Right, because they all gonna jet. They all gonna scatter.
Fact.
You gonna get a high speed chase with somebody?
Fact. You putting lives in danger, which is what you swore not to do. So like, yeah, it's bad for you, right? But now in the same space, right? I saw a couple days later there was 2 motorcycle cops that was just parked in the parking lot. They was going out, boom, 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 one after the other, snatching niggas up left and right, tickets. I was like, yo, these motherfuckers gave out more tickets in the last 3 hours than I have seen in the last, I want to say, almost 4 months of working with near police like that. Like, that shit was insane. I'm like, damn, bro, they taking them niggas left and right.
Yeah, that's how it be,
That's to be, motherfucker.
Right, exactly. And you know that they got a I just want to say, you know, rest in peace to Tahir. That shit was fucked up. That shit should never happen. We can get into that in another episode. It's still heavy on my heart, but what I wanted to say is that they have an amount of tickets that they're supposed to give every month, a quota. They have a quota that they have every month for the amount of tickets that they're supposed to give out. And so a lot of times, cops, if they haven't met their quota by the end of the month, they'll just use that little last week or two at the end of the month just to give out hella tickets. And those cops sound like they was quota hunting. They was like, bro, like we need at least 10 more each.
Facts. I mean, and trust me, man, if they want to give you a ticket, they are going to find a way to give you a ticket.
Right, like whatever it is.
Facts. Just to put it into perspective, there are 3 separate courts a civilian can go to if you get in trouble with the law. There's traffic court, criminal court, and then there's like basic judicial court. Yeah, like civil court, which is kind of important, I guess. But that's like for shit when you fucked over your baby mama or your baby mama and fucked you over.
Like
You're like, hey,
shit. You need
like, hey, bitch,
yeah,
you gonna get that?
custody
Take my kid off
orders,
the phone.
all that kind of shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Facts. But the crazy part about it is, if you get in trouble with the law, you 9 times out of 10, you only go into traffic court or criminal court. That's it. And if you really fucked up, then you go into judicial court, and then that's like you fucked. If your lawyer ever comes to you with you might have to go to trial, try your best to say no. Whatever you can do to get out of going to trial, do that, because that's guaranteed time, nigga. I have never heard of a person, except for like OJ, that they almost had 100% evidence on who went to trial and then made it out. I can probably count on I probably could get a list about the length of the fingers on my hand of how many people actually like did something, went to trial, and then got away. Now, mind you, it does happen. It does happen, and black people have gotten away. Just like, you know, some of our most famous black people have went to court and got away with it.
Bill Cosby.
Yeah, even back in the day, like
on a technicality.
Yeah, like even in the 1600s, when the laws were basically made to hurt us the worst. Damn, that was 2 years into slavery. They had already carved out how we were supposed to live in this country. That's crazy, isn't it? 2 years, nigga, like 2 years. They had it enslaved for 2 years. They was already like, hey, nigga, this is how it's gonna be for you forever.
Right.
Like,
right. And they've been running that game since then. And the thing is, you know, I feel like I've said it on the show before, but people try to say that they're in charge or they're in control because they're smarter than everybody else. And I'm like, no, they're just more devious than everybody else. Like, when everybody else is like, let's get together and let's build something together, they're like, how can I take power from these people? You know, how can I steal this invention or this idea and then take credit for myself for it? You know?
And you know what? I actually found out that actually started with Mexico. The first country that we ever destabilized was Mexico. Not directly, indirectly, mind you. But
It's always like that, man.
yeah, it was Mexico. I don't know. I don't want to say that. I think Du made a really good analogy. Mexico was a really good car. It was just driven by really bad people. Where America was just a really old car, but it was driven by some damn fine people, and they never stopped. Like, it's crazy to think that we as Americans were a capitalist society from jump, and we never stopped being that. From the slave trade to the, again, invent the ability to create massive amounts of screws and nuts and bolts, which made ships and guns, which did a lot of killing really fast. So we did like a lot of things really well. We just did them shitty, which in turn, you know, like you said, when you create a lower class, you create a society that is teamed with the idea of rebellion, and you don't even have to do anything. Like, you have already sown the seeds without even trying, which is what happened here in America with the Civil War.
Exactly. And it's funny, right? People talk about revolution, they talk about peaceful revolution, all that kind of shit. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't believe in peaceful revolution. It's never happened. No revolution in history that's been successful has been peaceful. Except one of the very first ones. And it was kind of peaceful, but it was more trickery. And I would say when the Middle East moved into Egypt, right, they took over there without a lot of bloodshed. But the reason that they could take over is because, in my opinion, the Egyptians were a little bit too soft, a little bit too accepting. They're like, it's all good, bro. You can live in my house. And then the Malaysian people, there's like, hey, that's cool, bro. I'm gonna just work your field, and I'm gonna date your daughter, and I'm gonna be your son.
Before they do it, nigga, that army marched. Excuse me, that army marched up. And it was like, what's that outside? Oh, nothing. It's just an offering of these nice cats. Well,
right.
You brought us cats. We love cats.
Right.
Can you take me to your leader?
Exactly.
I have this really dope white cat I want to give to her. Exactly. And they literally marched these niggas into the city. Like, and that's why there's no more Egypt. That's mind blowing. Like, the first civilization to ever exist in the world was defeated by pacifism.
Right, and they defeated themselves, man. We defeated ourselves. I will take that L for in the name of history. All right, but every revolution after that, all right, has not been peaceful. It doesn't happen because none of these people are as peaceful as that. They seen that shit happen. They was like, we're never gonna let this be us. It cannot be us. But people don't really talk about enough the Civil War, because the Civil War is a revolution in this country, right? And it's crazy because these motherfuckers fought each other over where the country's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? They're saying, oh, we shouldn't rise up, we shouldn't stand up, there shouldn't be bloodshed on our end, but they fight each other for this country. 1776, they fought the British for this country. They had a revolution against the British for this country, and they were successful. All right, and that's why we have America. They had a revolution against themselves called the Civil War, and the Union was successful, and that's why this country ran the way it is today. You know what I'm saying? And there's not slavery the way that it was. They just got mental slavery. They got jail slavery, but those debt slavery, financial slavery, right? But this system, to me, goes back all the way thousands of years ago to Rome. And it also still involves Egypt, right? When they came through in the city of Alexandria, right? When they turned into the city of Alexandria, they took all of their books, they took all of their knowledge, took all of their stuff, and then all of a sudden, freaking Aristotle comes up with 200 some books. I'm like, nigga, there's no fucking way that one nigga knows all of this different shit about all of these different topics, right, and writes a book about them just based on his own strength, just based on his own knowledge and understanding of the world. You know what I'm saying? That is not how shit works, dog. No one person is that smart. And if you were that smart, nigga, where are your inventions? If you know this much about this many subjects, bro, where are your inventions at? What have you created? You know? And so it's all the way back there, same kind of shit. You know, all the Romans and all the fucking Athenians and all that kind of shit, they studied in Egypt, so they know what the fuck was there. And then when King Alexander of Rome comes through, or Emperor Alexander, he comes through, he's like, hey, bro, that city right there where y'all study at, we need that. Okay? We need that. We're going to name it Alexandria. We're going to make it our city. And then we're going to take all their books, and then we're going to name them. We're going to put names on them. We're going to publish them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they did, man. And that's the kind of thing that they've been doing for thousands of years, thousands of years, taking things and, you know, making them their own. Gunpowder, another example, right? It comes from China, and originally it was supposed to be the elixir of life.
Yep.
And then they realized they could make fireworks with it, and then cannonballs, I believe. Then the Europeans came by, and they were just like, that's cool, but what happens if you make a really small pellet and you try and shoot that? You know, guns.
That's a musket.
Right, a musket.
Musket.
And they're like, hey, Japanese people and Africans, we have these things. They're called guns. We will trade you for these guns. Okay? Or
we do not
we
need
will
your
use a
guns.
gun on you.
Then you can try, because we have arrows and spears, and one of the two of possibly the greatest military leaders on earth at the time were in Japan and in Africa at the time of the gun being invented. Sakururu was on the rise, and Nobunaga had pretty much his line at the time had pretty much wiped out all of the known Ronin, and his samurai were pretty much the only motherfuckers around. Think about that. And all it took was the French with some rifles and the British to come over and be like, look, you fired, and then you step back, and then you fire again. And Nobunaga perfected that fucking technique to the point where he was able to stomp out pretty much all of Japan's rivals, except for the fucking British, who came back and was like, yeah, nigga, we got this thing from America. It's called a Gatling.
Oh, yeah, right, the Gatling gun.
Yeah, and that was pretty much the end of samurais as we know it. That was...
Yeah, them boys got clapped up, man. I ain't gonna lie. You know, their armor was nice, but their armor couldn't even block an arrow. All right? So there was no way they're gonna block these Gatling things. And this is totally a side note, and I think we'll get out of here in a little bit. But one thing I thought about Europeans, and this is totally random, but it's on topic to what we're talking about. You know, their armor and their weapons are some of the most brutal of anybody of all time. They literally have the thickest armor in all of like history. Nobody has had a thicker and more durable armor than them. When you look at, you know, Japan and their armor, she was like bamboo sheets. You know, you look at Africans in their armor. Niggas didn't even have armor. They had shields. They had shields and loincloths and shit. You know what I'm saying? They was not thinking about trying to block like swords, nigga. And you look at their weapons. You look at the way that they fought. It's completely different. Europeans, they're like, hey, bro, we're gonna make this armor that covers your entire body that takes 2 or 3 niggas to put on. And if you get hit with a sword, bro, that motherfucker's gonna be mad about it because that shit is not gonna go through. And then they were like, man, how can we break this armor? You know what, bro? Let's take a ball, fill it of metal, and then put spikes on that shit, and then attach it to a rope. and then there you go. Right, and then sling that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then the fucking mace was born. Mace was the armor killer. It's like, not only am I about to hit you with this spike ball that's heavy as fuck, but it's about to crack your shit open, dog, like an egg.
Hey, man, that's the thing that killed the Vikings. Like, when they came to Paris, they was like, hey, we over here just getting it in. Dude was like, hey, I know you don't know me, but my name is Kevin, and this thing is called a mace. Oh, yeah.
It's like, I got a sword. Like, what sword, dog? Look, and again,
Damn, bro.
even fucking Vikings didn't have no thick ass armor, bro. They had
didn't.
shields, they had like little patches and shit like that. They had furs that they wore. You know, they didn't have the spike helmets and shit like that. They just had regular helmets, nigga. Like, but a mace, that's none of that shit matters when a mace is involved.
Yeah, no, it really don't. Like that and the longbow. Those are the things that really put England on the map. Like people truly don't understand because guns are so much better. But like people really don't get it, man. Archery, like if you get a really good archer, they will fuck your shit up. They're not Legolas.
The
okay?
fucking ballista, the ballista dog. Like, like not only do we have longbows, like, hey, can you shoot a tiny tree? Can we shoot tiny trees, please?
Yes. You know what? I got an idea.
Can we shoot spears?
You remember how that one guy had that thing that he spun around and he killed that big dude? Yeah, slingshot. Yes. Okay, let's do that, but like this big. So a catapult. Exactly.
Right. Fucking catapults. And
right.
they're like, hey, bro, how do we get inside this castle? They're like, you don't have to get inside the castle. You take a rotting cow. You throw that in. Then everybody will die.
That's it. Like, yo, when people
that's their war tactics.
Fact. Like, yo, I remember somebody was like, I want to live in a castle. No, you don't. Castles are terrible. First off, they're cold, they're damp, they're drafty, they suck. They're always gonna be the same color because you can't paint stone. All right.
Right. That shit wears away quick as fuck.
Fact. And on top of that, you also have to remember that if you have a castle, somebody is gonna want to come and take it. And if you ain't got people to staff your castle, you fuck. Because now you got a big ass fucking, like Nicolas Cage, you got a big ass empty giant stone piece of shit that can't nobody get in, and two, don't nobody want to get out of, because once you go in there, motherfucker, it's like, yeah, it's no point leaving because I'm stuck in here. Yes, you are stuck in this castle for the rest of your life, because why would you want to leave? The castle has everything you need now in your entire life. Why do you think these kings abandon these motherfuckers, man? They just be like, yeah, I think it's time to go. Whoop.
Right.
And they out.
Right, because that shit is, bro, the worst, and we're not even getting into the torture weapons. Like Chinese people, they're like, we're gonna do Chinese water torture. We're gonna drop a drip of water on your head for hours, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty bad. But then Europeans are like, we're gonna stick a spike in your butt. And you're just like, what? It's like, we're gonna pull you apart with 4 horses. We're gonna put you on the rack over here, dog. We're gonna put you in the chokey.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
We're gonna nail you to a cross. It's like, nigga, what?
Yeah, fact. Romans were very fond of that. They love that. They were like, that's our favorite.
Bro, that's horrible. Like, I'd rather commit seppuku. Like, nigga, please. And even with seppuku, right? It's like, yeah, you open your shit up, but then there's another nigga there to chop your head off to end your suffering.
Fact.
Like,
hopefully.
Right, exactly. You be mad if you miss it, boy. Chop the top of your head off. You're just like, fuck, I'm still alive, boy.
Miss is fucking up. But no, I was gonna say, it's kind of funny to think that it was France that actually is the reason why we do not do public executions anymore. Apparently, the public executions became so wild and in a sense that people would actually try to rip body parts off of the deceased before they get cut down. So it was an execution, and I guess the crowd was so blood hungry, they ripped this dude apart, and they damn near almost killed the executioner, and the bishop and everybody on the pulpit almost died solely because they killed one dude. The town was genuinely we hate this guy. That's crazy stuff. That's mind blowing to think that it's the little things like that. And the guy that killed the guy who tried to kill King Henry V, his public execution was so bad that they completely banned the torturing of prisoners outright. That's why it's in the Geneva Convention now that you can't torture prisoners because of what happened to that guy. They fucked him up. God.
Yeah, they was not fucking around with their torture weapons. If there's one country that I would never want to commit a crime in, in any time period is like medieval Europe.
Oh yeah.
Because the punishments, they were just so extreme.
Almost everything was death, and if you got like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the lucky one got the quick death.
Right, like the guillotine or some shit like that.
Fact.
If you unlucky, boy, you going on the rack, dog.
Oh God. Oh my God. And that even is considered a mercy. Some of the shit that people did.
Right.
Like they said that the Agatha wheel was considered a mercy. The splitting hair, a mercy. Mercy. Okay.
Mercy.
Some of the worst torture devices that they had, okay, back in the day, that the Inquisition used, especially, that were especially fond of it, make these
and they castrated niggas, man. They castrated niggas. Yeah, we ain't talking about no chemical castration either, dog.
It was a painful kind, the kind that made you bleed out. So yeah, it was not fun to live in the Middle Ages. It was definitely not fun to live during the time of the Crusades. Like
hell
I said,
no, bro. They be clapping niggas just because, bro.
Fact.
You like I worship the trees. They like, oh, you worship what now, nigga?
You got it. A reason why today Catholicism and Christianity have such a huge foothold is because of what they did to those people back in the day. They tortured them, they killed them, and they did it publicly sometimes. And sometimes, like I said, man, like those old things where people be like, will you go on a date with me? No, she's a witch. That really used to happen.
It did.
Like that used to
they burn niggas at the stake. Like they really said the way to find out if she's a witch or not is you burn her at the stake. If she dies, she's not a witch. It's like, huh?
Yep.
Is she does what?
If she lives, she's a witch. Well, first off, no one has ever survived this in the history of the time we've done it. Ever.
Right. Not one person. We have not found one witch according to your logic, though. It's like poker with a needle underneath the arm, like right where the blood vessel is. Like, again, if she dies,
she's a witch.
Right.
What was it? It's the dunking test. So we're gonna put you on a teeter-totter. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah. And then we're gonna put like a stone on one end, and you're gonna be on the other end. And if you somehow manage to become lighter than the stones, you won't die. But if you don't, which you won't, you're gonna drown because you're obviously heavier than the stones because the stones are like this big. So good luck. Wait, what? Doop, 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 and you're dead. Because no one has ever survived this in the history of the times we have done this test.
Not one. And even if they did survive, they're like, now you're a witch. Dead. It's a double life sentence.
Now you get burned to death immediately. Immediately. The only way to kill witches is with fire. Like, bruh. I'm like, yo, I understand exactly why people believe that these places are haunted, because I would. Like, nigga, I'd haunt you. Like, I'd be mad as shit.
Bro, you killed me because I didn't want to go on a date with you, dog. You killed me because my potatoes grew better than your potatoes. It's like bro. So I can't understand this. You killed me because I made delicious pies, bro, and your pies are ass?
Imagine you know your neighbor for years, right? Years. Spanish Inquisition rolls through, and you like, wow, your boy's like, things is about to be changing, and you just about to be changing. Nigga, ain't shit about to be. Yo, heathen, he's a heretic. I know you were. He's a heretic. As soon as you say, I am not a heretic, you're already fucked.
You
are already fucked. Because these dudes, like, when people say in movies and TV shows, like, oh, these are true believers, that's what they mean, the Inquisition. These dudes will absolutely stop at nothing to get that confession out of you.
Yeah,
even though
they're like, we're gonna have purity, no matter how many men, women, and children we gotta kill to get it.
Fact. It's the craziest logic I ever heard of in my life. Like, either you convert to Christianity or you die. Okay, so let me get this straight. I either convert to Christianity, which is in turn I get invited up to heaven, where I get eternal paradise, or when you die, then you come up to heaven and we sing Kumbaya, right? Or you kill me right now and I go to hell because I don't serve a God that literally up until the time you burst into my door 5 seconds ago, I didn't even know existed.
So
Right.
I'm wondering where
this is
I'm
what
trying to
God
figure
told
this
you
out.
to do?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out right now because like I see a disconnect, bruh.
Man, I'm
Like you
telling you.
literally just kicked in my door, right? You put the knife to my baby and my wife, right? And because I am a man, you spared me for last, which again, your God told you to do this, the God that I'm supposed to just now serve blindly, mind
Right.
you.
For generations to come.
I did. Fact. Found out about 5 seconds ago.
And you
Bruh,
telling me this
absolutely
is a
not.
merciful God, bro?
Fact. And then if I say no, you about to cut off my dick. Like, what is this?
Right.
What is this?
Right. And that's why Christianity is so widespread today. And it's everywhere
Yeah.
because of that. And it's just, I mean, it's crazy to me how people can still be Christian. I'm just like, you know, I have never met a God that has told me to kill anybody. Okay. Not at all. And it's just like,
And if there was a God like that, why would he care? If he needed you to kill or wanted to kill, if he was a God, he wouldn't need you.
no, exactly. He don't need you to be his middleman if he was a God
Fact.
and killing his own agenda. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy that all these people really got together. They did all of this shit to try and modify and commodify this religion, right? And they put it on everybody else at the fucking knife point, man. At knife point, and they made them convert. And then generations later, we're still on that same tip, man. I'm like, I just can't do it, bro. I cannot do it. Any of this shit that happened at knife point, no.
And,
Not doing that,
and
bro.
again, like I give the old slave masters credit for trying to use the Bible to control the slaves. But again, like I said, when you breed a society where you show a lower class that there is a better class, that there is a better way of living than how they are living, you are only inviting revolution. Like,
Right. I mean,
and not to play devil.
look at all the European revolutions, man. Look at fight them. You know what I'm saying?
Fact, not to play devil's advocate, but it was actually the South that wanted revolution, and the Union was actually pushing for a more, not united front, but a more conservative yet liberal look on how the country should have been ran at the time. And that's what sparked the war. Lincoln just started talking about freeing the slaves to help get the black vote, which he got, which is crazy because he, again, Republican. So, again, Democrats, black people, do your research, man. Democrats are evil. Okay? Just as evil as the Republicans, but the Republicans were the ones that freed the slaves.
I mean, yeah, technically speaking, because it used to be the Whig Party and the Republicans.
Yep.
But you know, they didn't free the slaves because they wanted to. They freed them because of political power. They're like, we don't want the South to win, and there's no way that we can compete economically with the power of slavery. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking free labor. Nobody in the world can beat free labor. You know?
Fact. So the only way to win is to abolish slavery.
Right.
Which, again, it's funny that America abolished slavery before Mexico, but when Mexico decided to abolish slavery, America was like, wow, it's about time. Like, what? Like, no, because actually, no, I take that back. Mexico had already stopped the slave trade, but slavery was still happening in the country, obviously. It wasn't abolished until the time right when the Mexican Revolution was happening. That's when so the Revolutionary War when we fought for Texas, that is right about the time that the Mexican slaves, as we know them back then, were over. But America had slaves, and that's how they won the Alamo. Because again, like you just said, you can't compete with free labor, and no country on earth at the time could compete with the economic powerhouse that was those little pockets in the South that was bringing in all that free money from cotton and all that free grain and shit. Like you can't
look, I hate it, but you cannot deny that if it was not for the black slaves, America would be nowhere close to where it is today. Period.
No, they wouldn't.
Like,
And America's the top power.
yep, because of our backs. Like,
It is.
again, we was $1 billion industry because of our backs. Nothing else. Just us going out there
and
every
it's
day
still like
working
that.
hard.
What is the most
Facts.
listened to music in the world? It's hip hop. What's the
Hip
second
hop.
most listened to music? Fucking Afrobeat. We created both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Afrobeat comes off the back of hip hop. I don't care what nobody says. It's like African rhythms and hip hop put together. You know,
Mhm.
and it's like we create all of the style and the culture that people consume. Comes off our backs, but they don't want to give us credit for it. They want to tell us that when we do it, it's devilish and it's crazy and it's whatever the fuck. It's gangsta, it's thugging. But when they do it, it's beautiful, it's noble. You know?
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
It's some righteous mission to help the fucking kids in some third world country that they ain't never gonna go to.
Right.
It's the kind of sacrificial crazy shit that makes me wonder like how a country like this. But then again, no, you want to hate it, but you can't because, like you said at the beginning of the episode, the problem is truly capitalism at the end of the day. Because no matter what we say, these things will always generate a profit, and as long as they generate a profit, they will be things. You know,
Right.
it's funny because in the Bible it says you're not supposed to put any idols before me. Yet every single person I have ever met in my life, ever, has had a cross or some depiction of Jesus somewhere. Why? Is that not a false idol? Is that not exactly what he said don't do?
Right. It is. It is. And that's proven to put that Christianity as a religion is not about saving people's souls, man. It's about it's about control. And it's
Selling
about
toys.
getting money, man. That's it. That's all it is today. Control and getting money.
Which is sad, but it worked. And
It did.
again, like I said, man, if it wasn't for the fact that Christianity played a part in freeing the slaves,
And it also played a part in the civil rights movement
Civil
too.
War.
Yeah,
Yes.
Civil War, but civil rights movement. And so
And,
I appreciate it for that, and I appreciate some of the things that the book says. You know, my issue is not Christianity; it's people who
It's the
call themselves
people who are-
Christians and what people do in the name of Christianity. To me,
Yes.
that is not Christ-like at all. Because if
Mhm.
you take the name just by itself, Christianity, right, and it really means to be Christ-like. Christ never killed anybody. Christ didn't kill one person. So anybody killing anybody in the name of Christ, it's not Christ-like. Off top, right?
Yeah,
Christ-
didn't he give that Roman soldier back his ear after Peter cut it off? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, my bad, bro. Let me just regrow that for you real quick. X-Men power.
Right. He healed people. He saved people. He went against what the religious people of the day were talking about because they weren't really following what the religion was made for, which was to bring people together. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what Christianity does for the most part. That's not what they did during the Crusades, right? That's not what they did when they were using it in slavery to try and convert people and like force them into mental slavery, right? It's not what they did with the Native Americans when they forced them into Christianity, right? It's not what they do today. They're preaching all this fire and brimstone, and they're trying to get hella money with these mega churches. And all these people feel like, oh, we're being saved, and this, that, and the third. But who is he really saving, man? These people are still out here fucking touching kids. And this is something crazy, and it's about time for us to go. It's something crazy I heard from a pastor, and they said about other pastors. They said they joined this like big pastor group where all these different pastors from all these different churches all got together, right? And then there were some pastors who were like having sex with underage girls, I believe. And what the pastor said to this other one, the one I'm talking about, right, who was a woman, they said it's not wrong because one white sheep can't dirty another white sheep.
I'm sorry, what?
Right. So what they're saying is that because this girl, though she's underage, is saved, right, and the pastor is saved, if they rub against each other, they can't dirty each other. They can't. It's not a sin because of that. Because they're both, children of God or whatever. Because they're both saved individuals. And I'm like, if that ain't the dumbest excuse I've ever heard in my fucking life.
That is literally like that is Dante's Inferno level of bullshit, bruh.
Bro,
So you telling me that a
bro.
pastor can absolve you of sin? First off, why am I getting a better lecture from the devil than I am than any other character in this entire game? That actually hurts my soul. One, two. Hey, yo, why are you speaking facts right now? I
Bro.
don't like you. But yo, you're right though. I told you, man. Like I said, there's only ever been one time where the Catholic Church actually took accountability for one of these pastors touching one of these little boys. And I told you, man, they sent that dude to a death colony in Brazil. Okay, like, I mean, come on, man. Like, y'all, I mean, come on,
is that really accountability, bro? Like,
come on,
I'm saying, bro,
like,
like,
who you really lying to? Because you ain't lying to me.
you ain't lying to me either, man. You ain't lying to me. Not me. People can believe what they want to. People can say what they want to. I know what it is, and I'll be the first one to admit it. Not the second, not the third, not the fourth, not the fifth. The first one. I'm like, this shit right here, not right. Okay. What kind of ethics, morality you got? Not cool, bro.
But yeah, it's a crazy world out here today.
Man.
But you know, back to it. On another thing on capitalism, you know, like I said, people who want to make money, I don't really give too much about because everybody wants to make money. That is the nature of the evil of this country. But people like Elon Musk that claim they want to help people, that's the shit that kind of burns me up inside. Because honestly, man, if you really wanted to help, you wouldn't need to tell anybody. Like, as much as I hate
you would be helping already. You wouldn't be making $1 jillion penis-shaped rocket ships.
As much as I hate Mr. Beast, look at what this man has just done.
I mean,
okay?
Yeah.
How many celebrities do you know out there really trying to get random ass motherfuckers into any type of hospital? Fuck a publicity stunt, nigga. He was out there really trying to like do something. How many other motherfuckers you know out there doing that?
None. And I mean, I'm not really a Mr. Beast fan, but the fact they did that, I'm like, all right, bro. I can't hate on that. You know, that him doing that. I don't care if it's a publicity stunt or not. He helped niggas get sight again, bro. Like, whether it's one nigga or 10 niggas or 100 niggas, it's like one was enough. You know, but multiple people, I'm like, all right, bro, you did a good job, man. Like, and if this the flex, all right, so be it. I'd rather this be the flex and all this other shit that people are doing, man. But final thoughts, man. Final thoughts on the world. What's up?
Okay. Final thought. I'm gonna say it again, man, and let this be the first time I coin this on the show. This is gonna be my final thought. In life, make sure it is always health over wealth, because man, you can always get the wealth back, but once you start losing health, man, it's hard. That's a hard one.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I agree with that. So what are the... I would say, man, just take care of yourself. Lead a life that you enjoy. You know, sometimes I feel like the life that we live in, especially nowadays, it can get hard. You know, they say depression is at an all-time high. But I think about my ancestors and the kind of shit that they had to go through to get here. I'm like, if they can survive slavery, all right, actual American slavery in this country, not and all of that kind of shit, then I can survive this. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't come this far. Why stop now?
Right. Why be defeated by it?
Right.
No.
Right. Why be defeated by something that you were stronger than? Something that you and your line has already proven the ability to overcome.
Exactly.
You know, we are still to this day the most looked after, the most sought after, the most followed people globally. Right? We took their language and they speak it like us. Right? They speak their language like we do because they think it's cool. Right?
Oh, hey man, you know what? Okay, speaking of mental health, here's a real final thought. You know, it was a real crazy time in American history.
Hmm.
The craziest time I can ever think of was when Black Lives Matter was at its peak and all them white girls that you ain't never seen before was painting their face with Black Lives Matter, talking about how we need to be represented, all that bullshit. Where they at now?
In their cottages, sipping tea.
Back. Like I said, man, like I said from day one, these motherfuckers is gonna talk this shit right now. But the moment that the fucking bombs start dropping, these niggas is gonna be gone. Where they at now? Where they at now? And y'all fucking ate that shit up like some
Yeah, sipping
crazy
Mai Tais, dog. That's what they doing, man.
facts. I mean, them Black Lives Matter chicks is in they fucking white mansion.
Right, with their white husbands and their white kids,
far away from us black folks
and our black issues. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Made money off of our back again. Look at that.
Yeah, that's what they do, man. That's what they do.
Man.
Look, y'all take care, man. Y'all stay blessed. You already know what it is. Black man meat, and we